Hey everyone, welcome back to Stick War 3. Today it's going to be a bit shorter of a video, but I'm going to be addressing an issue that I have seen popping up lately that's been going on in multiplayer matches. Let's see if I can find some examples in the top decks here. If I just quickly go to Edit Army, Top Decks, you're going to see some decks like number 5 here that have sickle wrath only and a lot of spells, which doesn't make sense because sickle wrath are normally very weak units. They have the lowest health in the game, and only having sickle wrath would usually make a pretty weak deck. However, they have a very overwhelming offense that allows them to overcome other enemies early game, even tanky units like Spiritans and Toxic Deads, thanks to having Vamp, which cures poison, and for having Summoning Staff, which adds more deads to the battlefield as like cannon fodder. And if you keep going down here, you can see another one here at 15. Got another one here at 17. They're all the sickle wrath only. And just to show you how strong they are, I'm going to show you a match I had against a person who was using this strategy. Communist Beans, which was communist spelled incorrectly, but we're just going to take a quick look here at our decks as soon as this match starts. I've got a pretty basic Spearcher with some giants and a Trails thrown in, and he's got all sickles with 5 spells. You know, just looking at his deck, like normally you wouldn't expect such a thing like that to work, but you're just gonna see here in a moment how strong and impotent that sickle wrath are at early game for damage dealing. He comes in with an early sickle wrath, which isn't really much to worry about because I'm about building my first Spiriton. Right there, he just summoned he summoned some deads to harass me here, and now he starts coming in with his other units here. Again, not gonna do too much early on, but it is stalling my economy a little bit. I could bring my miners out right now, but I guess I was just a little bit slow on doing that. Not too much going on there. Spiriton did take some damage, but I'm gonna bring him up here now. He's gonna use his lightning spell to stall a little bit, though I should have probably just pushed forward. As you see, all he's really doing is building more sickle wrath, and also building up his crystal reserves that he has here. He has 3 miners on crystal. This is where we get to the issue here, is the deads start to stack up and they can push you back. As well as using mass heal also just makes this more annoying. I am not getting enough gold and mana to start building units, and he pretty much has free reign to continue doing that. My Spiriton is already getting pretty low health. And over here, he is expending a lot of his units, but they're so easy to build that it doesn't make much of a difference. He uses lightning storm to force my miners back into go back into the castle walls, which again is pretty annoying. That's a personal issue with lightning storm. I think needs its own fix because it's much too strong at basically killing off your miners. I get out a second Spiriton, and I try and move forward, but he's already got a fair amount of sickle wrath, and that's not. See, this is where the issue is here, is because with the summoning staff and these sickle wrath, he's able to do a lot of damage to my miners, and just like that, I'm back down to I only have 3 miners now, and there's not really much I can do at this point. And I just got frustrated with this. Keeping pushing me back from making any economy. so it just kind of stopped, and needless to say, I was pretty frustrated because this strategy doesn't feel like it should work at all, and yet it's surprisingly effective. That's really all I wanted to make for today. Other things that I just think need fixing, aside from that, like I said, is lightning storm being able to stretch all the way to your tower and your castle walls, because that's kind of unfair for how close you can put it to your miners, because even if you retreat them immediately... No, please don't. Wow, okay. Didn't expect that, but as I was saying, they can push all the way into your miners, and that's not really fair because they don't have time to retreat. You're almost certainly going to lose a miner, or if you're unlucky, you might even lose 2. And that is very effective early game for just basically bottoming out your opponent's economy and preventing them from making enough units. Another thing that I think needs some fixing, a lot of people can agree on, is spirit spawn, which spawns up to 4 spirits at a time, and since they only target the statue, they're able to run past your army and cause a distraction and allow the opponent's main army to do a lot of damage to yours, and you're basically having to fight a war on 2 fronts, and that makes it very difficult for the defending person to handle. I like a lot of other things that have been going on recently. I feel like most of the units are pretty well balanced, especially with the recent changes to some of the lower health units. But yeah, it's the amount of damage that sickles can do, 30 damage per hit at most for a 75 gold unit. I feel like that's just too much value for a unit that's so cheap. Because the only other units that can do that much damage in a single hit are the generals and giants, which just doesn't make sense. It's one thing that they have the splash damage. I mean, that's a pretty cool feature, but they also get the +5 light bonus on their splash damage hits. So if they hit 3 light units that are together, 1 hit will do 30 damage. If they hit 3 heavy units together, that'll be 15. And that really just stacks up, especially if you have, with a unit that's cheap, when you have 5, 10, 15 Sickle Wrath, they can just melt through groups of opponents. And I think, honestly, with the Cure Vamp that makes them pretty much immune to poison, that's a problem. The synergy between Vampiric Soul and Sickle Wrath is a very strong combo, and honestly, there needs to be some changes made to this. That's all I really have to get into today, but maybe I'll make another video pretty soon, finally on winter break, so I'll see you guys next time.